Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Hey, a while ago I made a video, and in that video I discussed the pros and cons of leasing an apartment or just going month to month. And one thing I failed to mention that unfortunately just happened to us is that if you decide to go with one that isn't a lease, well, basically what happened was our landlord has some relatives. They want to move in to her apartment building, and since we are the least seniority out of the 6 apartments there, we were just told that we have to leave in a few days. I was not ready for that because I'm not getting any money until next month. Fortunately, we don't have to pay for the month's rent, but they do want their electric and water bill paid, of course. So we're going to be moving again, but we might need your help. So if you want to donate and help us out there, we're looking to get 65 bucks. That'll pay for the water and electric and the first month's rent on a new apartment. I'm not worried about finding an apartment. They are everywhere. But if you can help us out, that would be great. I have links down below for PayPal and Ko-Fi.com. And of course, I always have books for sale as well. There are links down in the description for that also. It's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. The relatives are coming. They need a place to stay, and so we really have no recourse. I wish they would have given us a little bit more warning. Yeah, but what can you do? That's one of the disadvantages of going month to month. You can have things like that come up sometimes. It's kind of weird, but it's all right. It'll be all right. Hopefully. Anyway. Why should you retire in Siem Reap? I mean, there are a lot of cities in Cambodia, obviously. You can go to Kep, you can go to Kampot, Sihanoukville, Battambang, Phnom Penh. So when it comes to retirement and laying down your permanent home, I guess you can say, why Siem Reap? And I'm going to give you my reasons why I think that's a good move. There are certain restrictions here that you won't find in the rest of Cambodia, because being home to Angkor Wat, which is their, the prized possession here in Cambodia, that means they get a lot of tourists, they get a lot of visitors, and they do their best to keep that as sacred as possible, let's put it that way. They won't, some of the restrictions here, things you can find in other cities, are simply because this is the home of Angkor Wat here in Siem Reap. It's also known as Temple Town for a good reason. A lot of temples here. So first of all, Siem Reap is like I believe by head count, it's the second largest city in Cambodia. But by land mass, I believe it's Siem Reap province is the largest. The province itself is pretty big, and really the town of Siem Reap is makes up a very small portion of that. in the province, within the province. But this is good in a way because if you're in the center of town here, you can go 2 or 3 kilometers in any direction, and it has a whole different feeling to it. It's almost like you're in the countryside somewhere. They got a lot of small little neighborhoods and small little almost feel like villages, I guess you can say. So you can go from a lot of traffic and the hustle and bustle, and in a very short time you can be somewhere it feels like another world. Very nice, very peaceful, a lot of nature. And because it's so large, you never have to leave Siem Reap province to see all that. The one thing I like to say is that the city of Siem Reap, it has the amenities of a big city for the most part. It has about everything you could want here. But it has a small town vibe to it. It's just, in my opinion, much more chill, much more relaxed. And probably a little bit more traditional than some places, I would think. Because like I said, Angkor Wat is they try to preserve that heritage and that legacy. And part of that is, of course, the culture and tradition. There's all because of Angkor Wat, if you notice the buildings here, they cannot be built above a certain level. Any construction has to end below the height of the largest point at the main temple of Angkor Wat. So you won't see high-rise buildings, skyscrapers, big multi-level casinos or anything like that. And because of that, you know, you have all this nice big open sky, nothing blocking your view. Get a lot more nature. And of course it has Siem Reap River running all through town, which is also a good focal point if you're new here, you don't know your way around, you maybe get a little lost, or you get turned around sometimes. I used to do that all the time when I first got here. But the river runs all the way through Siem Reap. If you can find the river, you can find your way back to practically anywhere. But it's very easy to negotiate because of the fact you can see so much of the sky and pick up on certain landmarks. You know, bigger towns that have all those skyscrapers, they all start to look the same after a while. You might not know where you are in relation to them.
Hey, hello.
Hey, hello.
Hello from Cambodia.
Cambodia.
Cambodia. Say hi.
So there's a, I think that's a pretty good reason to be here. It's more chill, more relaxed. You can see a lot more of the sky. Of course, that's going to depend on you and you know, your preference. If you like living in a big hustling, bustling city and you like all them skyscrapers, then definitely don't be afraid to check out a place like Phnom Penh. But another thing, because it's in close proximity to Angkor Wat, is that there is no gambling here. Now, depending on how you look at it, you know, people like to gamble, man. And if that's your thing, I would advise against Siem Reap, because gambling is forbidden. It is illegal here. You can't even set up a, even if it was just you and a bunch of friends wanting to set up a Friday night poker game, very low stakes, whatever, and they catch you, you will be fined. You may even go to jail, depending on how severe they see it. So again, if you're one of those people who like to do that kind of thing, you might want to look elsewhere. But on the other hand, again, because of the building restrictions and because of the fact gambling is illegal, you won't find any of the problems that sometimes plague casinos. You know, people who show up just to gamble, maybe drink a little too much, maybe lose a little too much, that kind of thing. And sometimes people ask, you know, if it's easier to get a teaching job in Cambodia or in Siem Reap than Phnom Penh. The answer is no, not really. But I always like to tell them that you have more to consider than just that one aspect, because after you're done teaching for the day, you got to live somewhere. You got to want to be able to enjoy your life. So even if you can find a job quicker in Phnom Penh, it depends on you and your personality whether you're going to enjoy living there as much as you would someplace else. So many things to take into consideration, but like most of Cambodia and most things here, it's going to depend on you and your wants and needs and personality and all that good stuff. You're a unique little snowflake. So do what's best for you. That's what I'm trying to say. But because they do get a lot of visitors and tourists here, Siem Reap is also has a pretty fair percentage of English speakers, which makes communicating a little bit easier than it would someplace else, perhaps. Not everybody here speaks English, and not everybody here speaks, you know, proper good English, but usually you can get your point across because they've heard it all before. Even if they don't know any other words, if you want to go and get an iced coffee and you say iced coffee, they're going to know what that means, even if that's the only English they know, because they've heard it so many times. They know what you need. And that applies to most of the businesses here when you're looking for something. Usually what I do is just show a picture. I find what I want. If I don't know how to pronounce it, go into a local place and show them the picture. Then they tell me if they have it and how much and all that good stuff. I think another good reason to retire in Siem Reap is that it's really easy to get around. Again, because of all the tourism, there is an abundance, perhaps some would say an overabundance, of tuk-tuks, pass apps, and other transportation options. I mean, they are everywhere. You never have to worry day or night about finding a ride somewhere if you want to go someplace. Just stand on a street and just wait a couple minutes, and if you're just standing there, chances are a lot of them will stop and ask you if you want to ride. Problem solved. But if not, you can just wave any down that you see coming up the street, and if they're not busy, they'll be more than happy to take you somewhere. I was really surprised when I went to Brava here. My first day there, it looked like a typical smaller Cambodian town, but something was a little off. It took me till the next day before I realized that they had no, I had not seen tuk-tuk or pass app since I'd been there. That's what was a little off about that particular place, because I thought they were universal to Cambodia, but they are not. You don't find them in every city in Cambodia. So that was a little weird, but not in a bad way. Just different does not necessarily mean bad, of course. And I think those are some fine reasons to live here in Siem Reap. You can get everything you want. You can get it at an affordable price. But you don't have all the hassles of a big city with the skyscrapers and loads and loads of traffic all the time, and people honking and yelling and all the noise and everything like that. Yeah, it gets noisy here. Certain areas at certain times of the day or night, but nothing like the big city. And like I said, you can go anywhere within 2 or 3 kilometers and be in a whole nother world, relax for a day somewhere where you'll be the only foreigner out there. That's always nice. Alright, so be sure to check out all my links down below. Like I said, I PayPal and Ko-Fi.com. If you can and you want to help us out, help us get this move done, finished. That's going to be a hassle, but still, it's got to be done. Also, there are other vloggers from this part of the world. They are all listed down below. Be sure to check out their channels. They're all awesome. All have good information. So be sure to show them some love as well. And as always, from Siem Reap, Cambodia, I will talk to you guys in the next one.